My name is Sam Carson from Rinnai UK. I work as a sales executive covering the Northwest region and Scotland. Yeah, so the H1 systems are gas systems, whether natural gas, LPG, bio-LPG, essentially gas systems, instantaneous water heaters, either supplying directly from the water heaters or into a buffer vessel. A common question or concern that would crop up over the gas systems would be notably when they were looking at switching from storage systems to instantaneous systems. The removal of the storage out of the equation is certainly something that people will hesitate to do. But I do believe that when the system's sized correctly and the site surveyed correctly, it's certainly feasible and a great way to remove Legionella risks and improve the efficiency of the system. So I believe the great thing about the H1 systems is how massively customizable they are, and each specific system can be tailored to the site's requirements, whether it's the output requirements, the space limitations in the plant room. Notably, over the last couple of months, we looked at a hotel where they had massively limited plant room space due to an upgrade in the overall hotel space, increase in the room capacity. So what we'd looked at after some discussions with contractors and then the end user of the hotel was to look at moving into external appliances. So they'd fitted a bank of external appliances which freed up massive plant room space and certainly did work for them and they seem very happy with it, which is great. So one of the biggest challenges really on the H1 systems is when you are looking to remove storage out of the equation, possibly going from a 20-year-old direct fired storage system to an instantaneous system. It creates massive, people have huge reservations over the removal of the storage. But when the site's surveyed correctly, when it's, you speak with the contractors and the end users to make sure you're meeting the requirements, it's certainly feasible and it's a great way to, it's a great advancement of the system. One great success I've seen with the H1 systems would be a care home that we'd looked at over the last year. So they'd previously had a large storage cylinder, direct fired, and after a couple of site surveys and discussions, we'd then switched the system to an instantaneous system. Shortly after the install had been completed and all was commissioned, the end user and the local authority had contacted us regarding the gas consumption and shown that there was significant savings in the gas consumption after they had switched over to the instantaneous system. So we've received some great feedback from contractors and end users post adoption of the H1 systems. Um, Notably, one piece of feedback that I often get is the cascading capabilities of the heaters, which will allow a bank of heaters to fire and run proportionate to the demand of the overall system. So rather than having four water heaters running, if the demand doesn't require that, it will just maybe let one or two run. So significantly reducing the gas consumption. Yeah, certainly. So with the H1 systems, the gas systems, I see the great potential for integration of the H2 or H3 systems, whether it would be electric cylinders, source heat pumps, or solar systems. So I think over the next few years, there's great possibility for integration of gas systems alongside electric systems as something that I'm particularly excited about.